All right, we are on the air. This is Kev, and this is Black Men Being Brutally Honest YouTube channel. I am one of the habitual line steppers, and I've been gone for a second, but I'm back. So, how's everyone doing? I have Roger Stevens from the Roger Report and Judge Dre with us tonight. Say hello, fellas.
Hello, how are you?
All right, cool, cool, cool. Anyway, the topic tonight is the price of fairness. Just to try to explore and have somewhat of a conversation about kind of a couple of things and a couple of narratives that's being painted on social media. Um, so, Roger, you there?
I think
Roger,
I think he fell off.
oh, you fell off. Oh, okay, yeah. Let me uh. What? Let me ask you a question, Dre.
What's up?
What do you think that the black man's position on social media is?
From what I've seen in the real world and all like that,
Uh,
shoot, our position on social media is just to shut up and do as we're told. That's what it seems like.
okay.
I
Shut
mean,
up and do as we're told.
yeah, I think we do have a position where that's what they want us to do. I'll say it like that. I'll go ahead and give us that. They want us to just shut up and stay in line. They control the narrative on the mainstream media and control, how people really think and all like that. And I think that really what it is they want to control how, what we talk about and how we really feel. But they realize that they can't really do that considering that on social media, everybody can, have a voice. And there are enough people that do agree with even a small number to say that, hey, you know what, that's not the right way. Or there is another way.
Oh, okay. Because I like to think of myself as a person of fairness, and I feel like what's fair is you treat adults like adults, and the passes that you afford that they want to be afforded, you give those to children. I can't roll with it if like people claim that they want to have a serious conversation and get mad at the littlest things. Like, you know, so I don't think it's necessarily a bad thing to share your opinion, no matter how it sounds. I mean, sometimes if you're not being like overtly and purposely offensive, but that also depends on what you see as offensive. Roger, I see you joined us. You know, how
Okay,
you
yeah,
doing today?
I'm
Tonight,
doing
rather.
well. Can you hear me now?
Okay, cool.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Oh yeah, we can hear you.
Okay. I don't know what happened there because I thought I was on. All of a sudden, I tried to talk and y'all couldn't hear me.
Hmm. What we tell you about thought.
Yeah, but what were you saying, sir? What would you like to share with us tonight?
What could you repeat the question for me? Because I had to
Let me see.
click off right when you were asking what your question was.
I said, what would you like to share with us tonight, sir? On
No,
on this subject here. The subject matter of tonight, the topic is the price of fairness.
yeah. Well, I mean, honestly, that's just a price people aren't most people aren't willing to pay. I'll say that the people. Well, I ain't gonna say most people. The people who claim this stuff isn't fair, that's usually a price they're unwilling to pay. I'll say that. Anyone who's yelling about fairness, they don't really want to pay that price. Um, there are a lot of people who don't mind paying the price, but they don't really. I don't think they make a big deal out of it if they are willing to pay that actual price. Because when you get to
Mhm.
fairness, you start talking about power versus responsibility, and a lot of folks just want power, but don't want the responsibility that comes with it.
Mhm. Oh, so what you're saying is, what with great power comes great responsibility.
I mean, technically, yeah. The greater the power, the greater the responsibility that does come with it. Usually, because when the more power you have, the more influence you have about what happens to other people besides yourself. And a lot of folks, because of their selfish nature, they don't really take that into consideration, and they don't really care too much about how bad their decision will hurt another person. That they don't know. People care about the people they do know. Yeah, sometimes that'll make a difference, and I say sometimes. But the people they don't know, usually they don't care nothing about them. you know, I feel that's the way for anybody who is like talking about they don't have enough power. Those kind of people don't really care about other people's position in life.
Okay.
I think the people that do
Yeah.
care don't
Well,
really
let
make
me
them.
ask you a question though.
Hmm.
Have you ever seen it? Okay. What do have you like people who were willing to destroy someone's reputation because they were telling some uncomfortable truths?
I mean, honestly, that's just the type of person who doesn't want someone else to have power. Because at the end of the day, if you tell an uncomfortable truth and someone's willing to destroy your reputation behind it, whatever narrative that you're telling the truth about, they don't want it out there. So it's really like a mark of evilness. You know what I'm saying? Like it's a display of evil. I would say that if you're saying something and it's the truth, and someone's so against the truth that you're saying, and it's bothering them that much because obviously is the truth, then an evil person will try to stop them from telling the truth or try to take credibility from them so other people won't believe the truth that they're telling. So it's the mark of evilness to me.
Evilness.
Yeah, how you not an
Okay.
evil
Like.
person, but you trying to destroy somebody just for telling the truth? Sound like evil to me.
Okay. So
I can agree.
let me go on this screen. Yeah. So why do you think that? Why do you think that black men are attacked for telling the truth? Basically, is it that we're not afraid to say certain things, or do you think that we are being disrespectful?
Nah, I think we're attacking because the people that are attacking black men are just evil. Honestly, that's
Mm.
my perception of it. They if you're telling the truth and they have an issue with you telling the truth, what kind of nature does that come from? I want to talk, but I don't want to let you talk. That's a selfish nature in itself.
Mm.
That's a domineering nature in itself. That's a disrespectful position to be in where you feel like you can do what others can. That's like a slave master would treat a slave. I can talk, but you can't. I can do this, but you can't. Same thing. Comes out the same spirit.
Now, before we move forward with this conversation any further, would you agree that there are some disrespectful black men that roam the internet streets?
Oh,
Oh,
of course, of course. There's
definitely,
some out there.
definitely.
Yeah. Do you think that those men are a reflection of your attitude and your perception on life?
Nah, they only reflect the themselves and people like them.
Right.
Okay,
Hmm.
so why would any one other group get that pass to do that then? If we know that we don't give passes to somebody just because they're a black man, why would any other group give any passes to the people just because I don't know, say just because they're white or they're a woman or they're all 6'5" or something. Why would we give why would we give a pass to any other group because of that? In fact, what I'm getting to is what's wrong with the truth.
The truth.
If you're upset, go ahead, go ahead.
No, I said the only thing I say, a lot of people
If a
don't like the
person
truth
is
because it hurts. It hurts. You
it
know,
hurts,
the
yeah.
truth. It like when you can sit up here and actually relate to something. A lot of times when people really get mad, when especially when you watch these debates on YouTube, when people really get mad and really get into their feelings real hard on the debate when somebody makes a point, it's because they know that that point has, it has some truth to it. And a lot of times, rather than admit that, hey, there's some truth in what you're saying there, maybe not 100%, but there's some truth in it. It's like, I'd rather just destroy the messenger so that way you don't hear the truth.
Yeah. Yeah, I kind of call that person a negotiator. They find every other reason why you're saying it besides why you're actually saying it. Instead of debunking it with cold hard facts, it has to be a personal attack or it has to be some emotional response. But speaking of the truth, um, let me show y'all a case where somebody lied, where it could really be really damaging and harm everybody that is involved. I want y'all to read this headline here. Let me. Now, who knows who Amanda Seals is? Um, she's starred the HBO series Insecure. But she also did this little piece, this video on the Root. Yeah, y'all know the publication The Root, right? She's on avatars representing black men. Amanda Seals is also the one, if I'm not mistaken, she's either one of the women or the woman responsible for bringing Russell Simmons down, um, saying that he was sexually harassing her. Well, not too long ago, if you read the article, um, she named Myron Rolle. He's a no, he's a former standout scholar athlete. He's an NFL football player, NFL medical doctor. She accused him also of sexual misconduct. Um, but she later on retracted her statement, saying that I'll let her explain it because there's a video. Let me see if I can get this video to play. Hopefully the connection is good enough. But it was all over the place. Amanda's Myron sexual harassment and sexual misconduct, and I want you to hear this explanation right here that she had. So I mean, this video is, I guess, as far as I'm concerned, is owned by the Jasmine brand or is on the Jasmine Variance channel. Here you go. Just want y'all to take a listen, and I want y'all to tell me what y'all think of what you're about to hear, because I've already heard her say it. Hopefully, an ad doesn't play first. I'm gonna have to mute the video. So, for our viewing audience, please be patient while this video loads. Oh boy, but I don't know. Here.
It's like,
Yeah, I've watched a couple episodes. Come on, video play.
I sit here and laugh. I say every day, more and more, I look up and say, God, dog, are you sure that it's a benefit being a male? I mean, they're attacking you on so many fronts. Like, shit. And now it's like you don't even have to do nothing wrong to be outed.
I really don't take it lightly what I'm about to say.
Can y'all hear it?
Yeah.
Because when you name names, you put not only that.
Yeah, just our time loading. Could y'all hear that though? see, come on, come on, come on.
Because when you name names, you know, you put not only that
Oh God, this connection sucks.
person out there, but you also put yourself out there. I feel as a woman.
I apologize for the connection, y'all.
You know, if you go and turn your quality down on the video of that, that'll help save
Say what?
bandwidth. If you click the little setting icon in the bottom left hand corner of that video and turn the quality down, that helps. Oh, it's already at its lowest. Oh, you got it on. Yeah, put it on 144. Because we just want to hear it anyway.
Okay. Yeah.
Woman who makes it my business to be a warrior for the truth, that it needs to be said. I, on my podcast and on the Breakfast Club, spoke about an individual who had approached me on the internet and who we spoke on the phone, and that they said some troubling things in the conversation that made me take a step back, and that also with literally like no investigation, it was brought to my attention that he had sexually harassed a woman by opening the door when she came to meet him for a date, butt naked, and then telling her that she was the one who was overreacting, et cetera, et cetera. Now, I heard that one story and was just like, whoa, that's crazy. When I spoke about him on my podcast and on the Breakfast Club, I didn't say his name. I literally just said a couple like characteristics about him, and it has been shocking and incredibly discomforting to me how many women, 8 as of tonight, that have come forward to say his name. They knew exactly who he was, to say his name, and that he had been incredibly problematic and you know, behaved in a very sexual predatorial way with them that some have said could have gotten him fired. So I say all that to say, if you are approached by Myron Rolle, you should just be mindful. I don't have empirical proof, but I've had emails was incredibly inappropriate with them, that I feel it would be inappropriate of me to not put the word out there that there is a man that is not being okay with women.
Okay. Did you just hear that?
Yeah.
So what did y'all gather from that? Saying she stated that she had no empirical proof. She presented no receipts. She didn't.
Well, you don't know. She's a woman. They don't need receipts. What I've learned is come on now, look at this. Look at the stuff with Michael Jackson and R. Kelly. I mean, most of the women for him came out and said that, you know, they really cared about him. Even the stuff with Michael Jackson, they had no proof and whatever. But all of a sudden, that's still enough to change, you know, people playing his music or his, you know, come on now, his marketing.
And even with even with like the 2 guys that came forward on Michael Jackson, they came forward on him before. I mean, in the other trial, and they said that Michael never touched him. Now they're saying that Michael touched him.
Which I ain't even gonna lie. What gets me is how motherfuckers ain't throwing their ass up under the bus. I mean, like, if you were known, hey man, you can't sit up here and just flip your story and everything be cool. It's like, well, if you did, too bad. You know already. You know you're not credible. I can't believe you. If it happened to you, too bad. So sad. You know, it's just the fact is this: you're not credible. I can't destroy somebody over, you know, over a person that's not credible. You're not credible. You have no proof. You did completely opposite of what you said. On top of that, the only reason why You change your mind on that, it's because you didn't get to choreograph that big event that you wanted. And then all of a sudden you went from friend to enemy. Them are the worst ones because I figured it's all I must have pissed you off some type of way.
Mm. Okay, so so you're saying that this is about him not getting to choreograph a big event?
Yeah, well, they said that he was supposed to. He put his bid in to choreograph a big event, and they didn't give it to him. And then after that,
Okay.
that's when he started acting funny.
Okay,
But
so
right,
basically
you
now he's
you
getting
work
money
with a
from
stick.
interviews.
Right,
Mm.
right. It's like I mean, your credibility is shot. To me, it's like, I mean, what gets me is this. I ain't even gonna lie. What gets me is what Oprah did. Oprah didn't ask no pushback hard questions on him. She handled him with kid gloves. And that's why I sit
Mm.
up here and said, "Oh my gosh, man! If this woman supports a candidate or anybody that this woman supports, you damn sure know you better not vote for because it's just like, wow, this woman didn't. I mean, she said that Michael was cool with her. I mean, you didn't ask no hard questions. You didn't really push back hard. You know what I mean? Come on now. I just don't see that. And
Mm.
that just let me know I mean, Oprah, I didn't really like you too much before then anyway. I mean, shit, your whole show for 20 fucking years was throwing men up under the bus. You ain't never, very rarely did you have somebody on that show that made men look credible. Not even black, even white men. She was doing that too. She just made men look like
Mm.
dogs. And then now,
Mm.
come on now. I hate to say something. I hope a car breaks down on the side of the road and motherfuckers just keep driving by her and don't even stop to help her.
Oh man. Well, she'll pay somebody to help her out.
I mean, I hope they come and see who the fuck she is and then they leave her alone.
Okay.
Mm.
So let me ask you if you've noticed this. Um, why are black women calling black men rape apologists over R. Kelly when it was black women who bailed him out of jail and started GoFundMe's for him? Why is that? Like I find it pretty strange that the outrage lies with black men simply saying stuff on social media and not for his financial supporters.
Man, I'll say like that with the deal with R. Kelly, plain and simple. The men we already figured that the motherfucker like little girls or like young women, period. Or he like a lot.
Yeah.
If you didn't come to that conclusion as a man, but we know figure he either like young girls, like a lot of he like a stable of women. If your dumb ass want to sign up for that shit, you the one signed up for that shit. It wasn't like he was keeping them people locked in a damn house or chained down to the floor. What? As long as y'all motherfuckers was getting money, everything was fine and dandy. Y'all motherfuckers didn't have to work, didn't have to do shit, this, that, and the other. All you had to do was lay back on your back, get fucked here and now and then, maybe have some threesomes, this, that, and the other, and didn't have to do nothing. Now, as soon as the money's gone, then now, oh my gosh, I want to tell my story. He upset me. Man, go on somewhere with that shit. I mean, me and we
So,
already
so
know.
but seriously, but let me ask you a question though. Do you think R. Kelly deserves to be punished?
It all depends on what incident. On him messing with the young girls, yeah, if they can prove it and all like that. But him, like with the two women that he said he brainwashed and all that bullshit. I mean, no offense. All you gotta do is go to any social media site. You can go to Instagram, go to Tag, anything. Just look at a general feeds. 90% of the bitches got their Cash App info in a damn dating profile. What the fuck? I mean, you understand what I'm saying? I'm supposed to sit up here and take you respected, and 90% of y'all bros got a Cash App or some way to send y'all some money in a profile. And then you want to sit up here and get mad when a motherfucker treats you like a fucking hoe or call you hoe? I mean, no offense. Women, maybe y'all need to sit there and pull your other little girls aside and tell them, hey, you know what? Maybe we need to start doing these things. I mean, half of these Instagram thoughts, that's exactly what it is. You're an Instagram hoe, what it is. Plain and simple. Don't get up here and get mad that once, it's like you using what you want to get what you, you're using what you got to get what you want. But then now when it ain't gonna get you as much as you want, then now you want to make it play victim. Go on somewhere with that bullshit.
Mm,
Well,
yeah.
that is kind of BS there. I will say that. Now, I do want to say if they can prove R. Kelly did something to a child, then yeah, they gotta lock him up for that. You know what I'm saying? If you got proof, there's no question on that one. You gotta lock him up. At the end of the day, it's still
Mhm.
illegal. We have a line. The line is 18 years old. If you're not 18, but you're 17 and down, you got to be within like 5 years, I think it is. So at the end of the day, if you can prove he did something like that, yeah, you got to lock him up. Period.
Well,
Now, now
I ain't even gonna lie. They need to just change the whole statute of limitations. Motherfucker, you got 30 days. You can't be pulling this bullshit. Hey, if you don't say nothing after 30 days, too fucking bad.
well, I mean, the laws do need to be changed up. But if they got him, well, they got him. If they can prove he was with an underage girl, then my thing is you got to lock him up at the end of the day
But
because
if
he
I
know
sit
the law.
right, but I sit there and laugh. What Elvis' wife? Wasn't she only 14 when he got with her? They got pictures of her with him with young girl. I mean, if you really want to destroy
Right.
somebody's legacy, you ain't gonna never do that though.
Well,
Long- eh,
Elvis
eh,
White,
eh,
so he
Right.
got the
Right. Yeah.
he got the complexion for protection, as Paul Mooney used to say.
Mhm.
So yeah, they ain't gonna do that. I mean, but now it's my thing, and I mean I don't want to put this on all white people because it ain't all white people, but as far as I know, it's been a long track record of white folks in pedophilia for years and years and years. I'm not gonna say they all do it, but I think that's a little bit more accepted in their culture
Definitely. Look
than,
at the
than
Catholic Church.
well, yeah, that's that's one way that I say that it shows it's a little bit more accepted amongst white people. So I don't really think they care that
Mm-hmm.
big a deal. So
I'm
why?
gonna go ahead.
I mean,
And
that's
it's,
just my guess. It's
and I
my
ain't
guess
gonna
they
lie.
don't care like that.
That's to me. That even shows to me
Let me
how
let me
crazy white people are.
let me.
You breaking up if you said something.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Now, I do want to say this.
So
I
so
do
let
want.
me let me push back on the Catholic Church for a second. As far as the Catholic Church is concerned, let's go ahead and and I'm gonna do a little separation thing. Let's go ahead and separate the Black Catholics from that,
Oh,
because
definitely.
I grew up a Black Catholic, and I was never approached, touched. The idea never even came up that in my church and in the churches that I affiliated with, at least. Now, for all of those cave dweller Catholic churches, yeah, those are where the problems are because those are the ones that you constantly hear things about. And yes, there is empirical evidence of that, unlike Amanda Seals has when she tried to throw black men under the bus with this believe all women bullshit. Just not too long ago, I think a bishop, an archbishop or something, forgave his priest for messing with little boys. I forgot. I think it was in Kentucky or something
Mhm.
like that. I mean, um, and that right there is fucked up.
Well,
One
I
thing
ain't
that
gonna
the
lie.
black, well, go ahead, go ahead.
Uh, I said one thing I lie. I ain't gonna lie. Now think about it. These Catholics are show that should show the difference between black people and white people. You gonna tell me I could be a church going all person all day, could sleep with the Bible on my ass, whatever. If I was in church and somebody touched my little boy, then I'll be like, excuse me, Mr. Mitchell, where's so and so for where's Father John for service? I don't know. I was
Mm.
hoping to see that. You know what I mean? Them fools will be done disappear. You gonna tell me that ain't none of them fathers went up there and beat the shit out them people at least? I mean, that's go to show you the utter weakness of white men. I don't give a
Oh
darn.
yeah.
You gonna tell me how many black men do you know? Because most of these people who go to church in those pets like that, those are couples. So that's mother and father going like that. Them strong church goers. Most of the time, those are. And you gonna say
Yeah,
that your
yes,
child
yes,
was touched?
absolutely. My parents are like that.
Right. Your child was touched, and that motherfucker actually was able to walk around. We would have invited his ass for dinner, and he would have never made it home out. He'd have been tied up in my basement somewhere. I mean, literally, you gonna tell me that you gonna somebody gonna touch your son, and you think it's okay?
Yeah, last house on the left action right there.
Man,
I don't know if anybody's ever seen that
no,
film.
I haven't seen it. They said, "Where's Father John?" I have no idea. I was looking to see that he said that he was gonna go over this scripture, and I just couldn't wait. I'd have been the first one there on Sunday to make sure playing it off like, yeah, I can't wait to see him. Yeah, he came over. He said he was coming over for dinner, but he never showed up. Even though
Yeah,
his
but you
car in
do
my
bring up a great.
garage.
But you know what though, you do bring up a great point though. Why is it never that there has never been a father that has been on record of beating the shit out of one of these priests that touch their kids?
Thank you. Because
Yeah,
let alone, what plain and simple, it shouldn't be, and what's so bad, it shouldn't even be on the record of beating the shit out of him. It should be the extreme, if you know what I mean. Should be on the record as
yeah,
that.
the
But yeah,
extreme.
why'd
Oh
you do it?
yeah, yeah, yeah,
Why'd you do it? You know
yeah.
why I did it. Now, plain and simple. I mean, no offense. I mean, if you heard that so and so raped your kid, at least, and we know, okay, you know, Mr. Bill's going to jail because he hurt Father John for raping his kids. Well, what's his commissary number so at least we can put money on his books? I mean, you
Yeah,
understand what I'm saying? Don't even
yeah,
worry
yeah. I
about it, dude. I got
understand.
you. I got you
I
$50 a month.
also would tell you. Oh,
Mhm.
but I also would tell you this though. There was at talks one time of the separation of the Black Catholic and the White Catholic Church because
Mhm.
it got to the point with some Black Catholic priests is that one thing that the priests do have is that they have an oath of celibacy, meaning that they don't get married, they don't have children, they are completely dedicating themselves to God. Now, the Black Catholic priests don't like that necessarily. They feel like that you're supposed to procreate. The white Catholic priests, they want to keep it, But see, the thing is, though, those are the ones that are always getting busted messing with little boys.
Yep.
They have this oath of celibacy, but they're sexually immoral and amoral. So basically, and here's my thing. And here's my thing with this is like to me, I understand why they want that separation, but why even be Catholic to begin with if that's the case? Why is it that we have to always take something from them and try to make it our own? It doesn't make any sense to me. It stopped making sense to me a long time ago. Um, why, like if you don't like something, why are you trying to chalk everything up to this is what God wants? I mean, I understand, basic human responsibility and affording everybody the rights and treating be treated, but you know, sometimes that people have to understand that nature has to take its course. And you know what happens when you don't allow nature to take its course? You get people with insane, dumbass, sick ideas. So that's all I'm saying about that. As far as with my stark comparison of the Black Catholic Church and the White Catholic Church,
Well,
because growing up in the Black Catholic Church, we were all we all acted as if we were a loving family. I mean, the best people in my life that I've known have come out of the Black Catholic Church. And I'll tell you another thing. The church I went to was St. Jude. St. Jude was campsite 4 for the civil rights marchers. After for the Selma to Montgomery march. So just wanted to throw that fact out there. So you can go ahead, Roger.
okay. Well, what I was saying when it comes to white folks and pedophilia, because I'm not trying to paint a picture like all white folks have been involved with pedophilia, and I'm not just talking about America. You know what I'm saying? Throughout history, like folks more on the white side, it's been like known history that white folks have seemed to indulge in pedophilia way more than black folks, you know. And when it comes to like y'all bring up the churches, it's like little pockets of people where that's kind of like a accepted behavior. I'm not saying it's like all white folks, whatever, but it's accepted behavior amongst certain people. And then, I guess, yeah, being realistic, the Catholic ministry, when it comes to whites of the Catholic ministry, is obviously one of those places where that type of behavior is more acceptable. So, the thing is, if when you roll and cruise like that, that's what you expect them to do. So now, like me as a person, would I ever leave a child around a white Catholic priest? Nah, wouldn't do it at all. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, you can say whatever you want to say about me, but I just personally wouldn't do that. If you're a white Catholic priest, I'm never gonna put a child around you. Just is what it is.
Well, we had white Catholic priests at our church that knew their place. I mean, I hate to say it like that, but they knew where they were. If ever the idea entered in their heads, I mean, you're surrounded by a bunch of black people that won't let that stuff ride. Period.
No, I
think,
that. But I'm just saying.
I think they knew that. Go ahead.
No, my thing is their reputation is so big for them doing that. I just feel personally, for me, it would be irresponsible of me to leave a child around a white Catholic priest. That's just me. The reputation is already there.
Yeah, just like it'd be friggin' irresponsible to carry your kid, your daughter around R. Kelly just because you think she can sing after hearing all this stuff about R. Kelly.
Yeah. My thing is,
I mean, in other words, but what I'm trying to say is, you have a responsibility to protect your children and the children of your community. You do. And part of that protection is not exposing them to dumbass shit.
Yeah. And if someone has a really, really big reputation, I got to take that in consideration. So, so the same as I'm saying, I wouldn't leave it around a white Catholic priest. Yeah, you're right. I wouldn't leave a child around R. Kelly either. You know what I'm saying? Like I said before, I wouldn't let my child be around R. Kelly just long enough for me to go to the bathroom. Like I wouldn't do it. It's just me. And does that mean he's guilty of anything? No, it doesn't mean he's guilty of anything. It seems like he definitely.
It's just like this. It's just like this. It's just like this. If someone really wants to hate on a woman, you spread a rumor she has HIV, it can be as false as fuck. But if you have the opportunity, if the opportunity presents itself to have sex with that same woman, guess what? That shit's gonna be in the back of your mind.
Yeah, that's kind of cruel, but yeah, I feel where you're coming from. That's kind of
cruel. It's a cruel way of looking at things. It really is. And believe me, as much as I get accused of victim blaming, there's also a thing called common sense. Even if some things aren't true, you don't want to try the elements. You don't have to do that with everything. You don't have to take a chance with everything. So, I mean, it's like, honestly, after R. Kelly reputation preceding him, it's like, why am I wrong for being fair in saying that why would any parent carry their child around R. Kelly? You need to have these parents' faces plastered all over the place for pimping their daughters out. I never said that R. Kelly should not be punished if there is tangible evidence that's in existence. I'm just saying it's like these parents. Like, I watched the first part of Surviving R. Kelly. Them niggas was looking real fucking dumb sitting up there doing them dumbass interviews. Like, seriously, I don't think I could bring myself to publicly embarrass myself after I made such a horrible decision. And it's like this, you got to be fair across the board. You got to blame everything that got those girls, and I use strong quote fingers with that, in that position. So, so also, I don't care how innocent Michael Jackson was. Would I take my little girl around this Michael Jackson? Probably not. I could be totally wrong.
Well, I'm gonna
I
say
mean, I really could. I could have no tangible proof. But am I cautious about taking a child around Michael Jackson? It granted he was alive, yeah, I probably would be. Even though
now
I ultimately believe it's all crap.
I would say this. I would be cautious, but when it comes to the Michael Jackson stuff, I don't even believe Michael Jackson did anything wrong. That's just my personal view. Um, R. Kelly, I don't know what he did. Also, personal view, he did do something wrong. But now, I think is as far as him being punished, well, the law says you gotta prove beyond reasonable doubt. So at this particular point in time, that this hearing make not beyond reasonable doubt. You gotta show some evidence of him doing something wrong. So I need to see that where R. Kelly can legitimately be convicted on, which we just haven't seen presented in the court. Now, but I did want to say something about that lady, uh, Amanda Seals, because of that tape you played, because y'all kind of moved on that right away. Basically, I heard a woman say that a man, she described a man on a radio show. Then she act like it was a shocking thing that people could tell who she was describing, which makes no sense at all because everybody knows someone personally. So if you get on the air and describe someone personally, and then the people who know that person personally says, yeah, that's them, like that wasn't no like big whoop, and that wasn't like somebody being exposed. You just described the person on
She
the air.
said,
You know what I'm saying? You don't
she
have to give
said,
his name to a person you
she
describe.
said, she said in her own words that she had no empirical evidence. In her own words, she had no empirical evidence. But she had a bunch of women, like, well, I guess, message her saying that the man that they're describing sounds like Myron Rolle. You know what I think these women's problem was? They probably saw him hanging around a white girl.
Well, you know what?
I don't
Honestly,
know. At some point at some NFL party, Myron Rolle probably shared a drink with a white girl. And these hoes were mad. I'm sorry, I said hoes. They were upset and they were salty. And all of a sudden, he's sexually indecent.
I mean that's probably
And
true.
Nowadays, it don't even take all that. It could be that he say he was trying to talk to one of them, then he realized, oh hell no, this bitch ain't the type of woman I'm gonna stick my thing in. So then you sit up here and just play a long handle spoon, and she realized he ain't falling for the shit and he ain't going for it. So now you want to either call the nigga gay or want to be like, well fuck it, if you ain't gonna fuck me, I'm gonna make you wish you did. I mean,
mm,
literally, I've seen women do that shit to a motherfucker who wasn't giving them no play.
mm,
Well, yeah, well, a lot of women take rejection horribly, but what I was trying to get to was that the fact that not only did she describe a person, but then act like it's shocking that a person who knows him personally would understand his description because you obviously know him personally too. But then my thing is like to say that he did something wrong because some women you know said that he did something wrong. You know him. You claiming he doing something wrong. So how do I know these ain't women you know? See what I'm saying? It sounds like they women you know. So you got some women you know to say he did something wrong, and you one of the same women saying he did something wrong, yet you have no evidence. That to me, that don't even make sense. You know what I'm saying? That's like me
mm,
me saying, the people I was in. I used to go to school with. I had a class full of people that I know call
mm,
me to say, yeah, this person that we know did something wrong. That don't even make sense. Because if
mm,
he did something wrong and all y'all was in somehow had an incident with him doing something wrong, then why is it just not coming out? That's number one. Number
mm.
two, you have no evidence. If you got no evidence, then why are you even talking about it? You know what I'm saying? So, and nowadays women lie so much where they're getting caught in their lies so much. My point is like, why are you even saying stuff if you got no proof? Because y'all lie all the time at this rate. When it comes to the media and what we see, every day you're hearing about You know what I'm saying? Or just about every day, you're hearing about some woman who lied on some dude to get him caught up in some type of sexual scandal. Like we hear this too much. So at this point, yes, you need some evidence. And if you didn't say nothing when it supposedly happened, I'm just gonna have to put you in the category as a liar. That's just me because it's real victims out here, and all this lying on people to try to get them to do X, Y, and Z. And you trying to control them. All it's really doing is taking light off people that's actually get raped or sexually molested or whatever the case is. And those people may actually need some real help. And the fact that you out here just spreading BS around, you know what I'm saying? You just really taking it and making it where people ain't gonna believe somebody who it really happens to. So like I said,
And let me restate for the record that Roger did say there are real victims out there. I mean, I can acknowledge that too. There are real victims, but there's also a bunch of fake outrage as well.
I'm just saying it is a lot of fake outrage, but this is my thing. Like, what if somebody I know personally, they really become a victim of something like this, but now people don't believe them because I got all these women just feel free about making these claims against men, and then they making these claims all late in the ball game. So that means if it happens to somebody I know personally, they're not going to be believed, not because they're not telling the truth, because all these women out here making these false claims, and they're making false claims late in the game. See, my thing is, if something happened to you, why didn't you report it then? You see what I'm saying? I'm not the type of person to want to hear a bunch of excuses. If it happened, why didn't you report it? Period. When
all right.
Evidence.
All right. Well, I'm gonna give you a saying, and we're gonna shift the conversation. Hell hath no fury like a woman scorned. But I'm saying it is because it's like I'm not saying that all women lie when things happen to women, but we do have some liars. Period. And if you are a believer in our justice system, which is kind of a hard thing to say, you will believe that with all the tangible evidence that we will find the answers that we need. But anyway, let me shift the conversation for a minute. Question: do you think that Jussie Smollett is being punished too harshly?
Oh man,
you got 16, 17 counts for lying. Soft charges.
To me, I don't think he's being punished too harshly. But the only one bad thing is, I'll say this: if he would have been a woman, they would be sitting up here talking about how they need to help him and how he just needs mental counseling and all like that. So, like, basically, I see how you charging him with 16 and 17 counts. Y'all should do that to the women that do the same thing.
Well, I'm gonna say this. Now, actually, I can't really answer that question until I see what punishment is handed down. Now, the fact that they're going after him on so many counts, that just shows you where we are as a people and as a country. Because he's a black man that did the same thing that a lot of white women have done, and yet nothing happens to those women. But look what's happening to him. Look how they charging him up. They trying to think of every way. They trying to make sure there ain't no nook and cranny left out there. We got to come up with a charge for everything. You know what I'm saying?
I ain't gonna lie. Every time I think of a white person and then pulling a fake, like where it's like blaming it on something like that, I always think about. I don't know if you remember. It was probably about 20 years ago, where that woman said that black dude that stole her car with 2 kids in it, and she had pushed the car in the lake with the kids in it.
Yeah, I mean, I've heard so many stories like that.
Yeah, I think about that story all the time, and it's like, it's like when it's them, it's like, oh, we need to help them, and they just had a hard life, and this, that, and the other. Well, here's the question. I mean, every black man could easily say, well, shit, we need to help him. Yeah, man, he had a hard life. Every time he went somewhere, they always thought that he was going to rob them. When he got in an elevator with somebody, people was always grabbing their purse. When he got pulled over for a busted tail light, the cop always came with his gun out. I mean, literally, if black people want to pull that excuse, there's so many things we could say that makes our life difficult. Shit, these motherfuckers, ain't no rock unturned that we could sit up here and say if we wanted to use that excuse. But those excuses don't work for us.
No, they don't
Well,
work for us. No,
that's what I was
no.
saying. It's a good showing of exactly how far apart we are as a country, and when it comes to different racial groups. Because at the end of the day, the man made up a story. I get that. You know what I'm saying? He got some people to help him. Okay, cool.
Uh,
But why are you trying to charge him with so much stuff though? You know what I'm saying? At the end of the day, the man made a false police report. You
is
see what
a
I'm saying?
is a public lynching, even though I feel like that he went more to bat for the other cause rather than causes for blacks. Um, let me put it to you like this. Let me put it to you like this. Who remembers that Olympic swimmer that lied? And said he was robbed. Ryan Locke.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, yeah, remember that guy? And then I think he even got a spot on Dancing with the Stars afterwards. What I'm just trying to do is I'm trying to establish that there is a double standard. That black men do get punished more harshly than white men.
Well, we've already
And
known that.
Dre, he said something interesting that white men are so weak. What I'm about to ask you is this: why would like some people even suggest the idea that white men have utterly and ultimately defeated black men in our society?
Huh. I
You
think
know,
that it's just perceived that way because they get off with things. But I hate to say white men are weak because I'm not even gonna lie. I have never in my entire life have I ever seen a white man get cocky with a black dude unless he knew he was protected. I've never seen that in an entire my. There's been time where I've seen him get cocky on the phone, but as soon as you're in the same room with him, it's a whole different change of tone. And that's what just gets me. I think that they have the illusion because they can get off on the stuff that means anything. Like they're not going to go to jail or they're not going to do the same amount of jail time and stuff like that. But when it comes to actually, no, when it came to actually somebody, putting a foot to ass, white people ain't doing that shit. Not happening.
no, no, because I remember at one point that we were actually just like kind of turning the tide as far as the narrative. We had to run it scared, but then this was pre-crack era. Pre crack epidemic. I ain't gonna say crack era because crack era was longer than the
Right.
crack epidemic.
Right.
Um, yeah, but Jussie Smollett is definitely an example of how black, whether he's gay or not, he's still a black man. That there is a extreme double standard on how black men are treated versus how white men are treated. And when you hear black men make the comparison between Harvey Weinstein and R. Kelly, that's exactly what we're talking about. We're
Mm-hmm.
talking about the double standard. We're not trying to give R. Kelly a pass. You
Definitely.
know.
We're not. That's the thing. I think we're when it's something that white people do or when it's on them, they want to preach forgiveness. They want to preach we could help them and they should be forgiven unless it's us. And that's when they want us. Oh no, he should throw him under the jail. Where we like, we're black people, we like, oh hell no, throw the motherfucker under the jail with the other motherfuckers you should have thrown up under the jail.
Yeah.
Well, that's why I say that when it comes to how the law is applied in America, we really should just come to a single number, meaning that, and I mean a single number as far as whatever the offense is, the offense carries this amount of time. That way, there's no judgment between if a black person did it, white person did it, woman did it, man did it. It's like if we say a rape is a 20-year sentence, doesn't make a difference who did the rape. It's 20 years. Just leave it at that.
I'm down for that, but that'll never fly because, unfortunately, that would put too many of them in jail. I mean, think about it.
Of
They've even
course,
done
of
studies
course.
where they've had the same judge had the same crimes, and they show the black person get 15, 20 years, the white person get 4.
No, I know that. I know white folks will be dead set against something like that because it takes a lot of power out of their hands, and it doesn't help the society move quite in the direction they wanted to go. But I think if we really want to get into fixing the system, you'd have to start with stuff like that. You just gotta say, hey, if a person do this crime, they get this amount of time, or if they get this amount of probation, or whatever it is, this amount of community service. This is just what this particular crime carries. And if you did that, then things would get, would go more toward the way we want our society to go in. And if people don't do that, then you need to start questioning the people that you're voting for and see if you're okay with them really being in office and on all levels. That's president on down, or aldermen on up, however you want to look at it. If you want to push for a certain crime standard, at least in your state, then those you understand those people not really on your side as black people. That's just what it is. And my thing is the fact that I know this, but there's no reason for me to pretend that those folks don't know this and ain't figured this out already. So that's why I say they're not on your side.
Okay. Who heard about the white girl that I guess she killed 3 people? Like she won't be facing charges.
No, I ain't heard about that one. This somehow slipped past me.
Yeah,
What we
go ahead.
talking about?
Tell us about that story. I'd like to hear this. Here, tell me so I can look it up while we're online.
Okay, I'm looking up her name right now. Yeah, I think her name is Alyssa Shepherd. But from what I'm hearing, she won't be facing charges for killing 3 people at a bus stop.
Okay, and why?
Right, how did she kill 3 people at a bus stop? What's going on?
But I'm looking up the story right now.
Yeah, because I'm sitting here thinking, like, man, if you a brother, you didn't kill 3 people at the bus stop. If you accidentally ran them over, they finna hit you with the vehicular manslaughter. You know what I'm saying? Or now, if you shot them, you definitely gonna get murder charges. I don't know, how else would you kill 3 people at a bus stop? I can't say you knifed them, because if you kill 3 people and nobody moves, like, them some really stupid people. So that sounds like either maybe she shot him or she ran him over or something.
Like I said, I want to validate the information. That's why I'm looking up the story right now.
No, go ahead and do that. Go ahead and do that. I'm just thinking out loud. Let me, but no, I don't want to say me, but let another brother, you know what I'm saying, kill 3 people at the bus stop. Because my thing is, the bus stop is involved, so they could have been waiting on the bus. You might have jumped the curb, killed these folks, or whatever the case is. How are you going to get out of this without a vehicular manslaughter charge? Because I'm pretty sure that's what a brother going to get. Mm-hmm. So to say a woman done killed 3 people, I mean, how is she going to do this unless she just literally shot these people? How else is a woman going to kill 3 people by a bus stop?
Right, unless she was just tripping and she went crazy and just went off and shot 3 people. White people do some crazy shit. Why did you kill them? I killed them because they both had on black shirts and I was scared. And they looked threatening.
Yeah.
And then I had watched a documentary the other day that Michael Jackson had molested a boy, so I figured that they might have done that too. So that's what kind of mind frame I was in. They probably like, oh my gosh, yes, we can totally understand. It was just an accident.
Yeah, yeah. I was standing there, and next thing you know, they were waiting on a bus stop, and they all had on suits. And I know a lot of black people that, in order to be tough guys, they wear suits. So I was thinking they must be some gangsters of some kind. So I felt threatened.
Mm-hmm.
It just makes no sense that they all would be dressed that nice at the same time. It just makes no sense.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Mhm.
that's a funny way to justify that one. Huh? I'm pretty sure that's what I'm gonna say after I hear this story. Because how you not give her any charges? Yeah.
Like I said, I'm
Oh
trying to
man.
validate this. I'm trying
They
to
say,
validate the
think
story
about
now.
it. They would say you have Asperger's syndrome or some shit. I mean, like literally, yeah. How many times have you sit up here and say, you be like, God damn, man, can you picture a black person even trying to use that excuse? It's just
But
like,
my
Right.
thing is, even with a white person, it's like if you kill one person, okay. You know what I'm saying? I can see you trying to let some excuse. Wow, she killed 3 people. And how's a white woman gonna kill 3 people by a bus stop unless it's a
oh,
gun involved or she doesn't ran these people over?
all right. Well, when it comes to even you sit up there and say that, I mean, just think about the times. I mean, you should already know that anybody that say that there's not difference is. When's the last time you heard of a black man going off doing any damn thing and being taken alive, especially when he does stuff to multiple people? Black people, I mean, you happy to be taken alive after a traffic stop for a busted out tail light. But it's like these people. Wait a minute, this dude went in a Waffle House and shot 10 people, and you gonna tell me that y'all came in here and y'all shot at the dude that was trying to, you know what I mean?
Nah,
It's like,
bro, I
whoa,
feel you.
wait
I
a minute.
feel
This
you.
guy's alive. The guy who went in the Batman movie theater. You gonna tell me that no cops got tricky hair trigger and shot his ass too? I mean, all these. I'm like, dude, this dude has killed multiple people. You see the bodies laying on the ground, and it's like, put your
Uh,
gun down, please.
I
We
found
don't
it.
want to hurt you. It's like, what the fuck?
Mm,
I found it.
okay, well, we ready for it. We ready.
Her name is Zoe Reardon. Reardon. Zoe Reardon. Zoe
Mhm.
Reardon.
Mhm.
ZOEREARDON.
That's Zoe, all right. Now, what good old Zoe done did now?
Spell the last name again.
Reardon. REARDON.
Oh, AR. Okay, AR. Oh, never mind. It comes up as soon as you type it. Let's see.
She's
You said
facing
Oh, she was
she's
killing three
facing
people crossing the street. So what if she must have hit him in a car?
what
Let's
I
see.
tell you.
yeah.
Wow, she
They
was
said she was
listen to that. She will serve probation and pay a fine. That go to show you, man. It's motherfuckers who done got more time than that than killed the dog. I mean, you said this motherfucker sit up here and kill 3 people, and y'all sit up here and put Michael Vick in jail for 3 years for dog fighting. I mean, for real? Not one person. You done killed 3.
mm, mm, mm.
Mm.
I mean,
I wonder.
where are these motherfuckers that be making these deals to avoid trial? When I mean, no offense, it was a dude I was sitting in there last time. I was sitting in there for the child support. He was only
Hey,
accused of something, and he was accused of a robbery he wasn't there at because somebody said that he robbed somebody. No proof, no whatever. They didn't find no gun, no nothing. It was all a lie. And the
This thing,
biggest plea that he could get, even though the person wouldn't come to court, do nothing, the biggest plea he could get was like 3 years. And this motherfucker done killed 3 people. And you gonna tell me she can get a plea like that for real?
mm.
bro, this
Hey, and
say
then
she killed
She killed a baby too. That's what's
a
so
baby
bad.
and 2 women.
All right,
Come on, well, like what's going on?
all right.
yeah, and here's okay. I guess the court judge, Alan Jordan. Uh, this is I'm gonna quote what he told her during sentencing.
And the convention to be taken off her record after she. Oh my fucking god! I hate to say something. Black people, I mean, we need genocide to just hurry up and get here. I mean, shit like that. When you read shit like this, it just hurts you. You know what? Fine, man. You need to go out here and start cracking these white people upside the head when they do stuff like
hold
that.
on, Judge. Hold on. I want him to read this because I need to hear this.
Oh, I'm reading it out as we speak. It's just pissing me the fuck off. Go ahead,
Yes.
read it.
Here's what Judge Alan Jordan told Reardon during sentencing. And I quote, "You're pretty young. You got a lifetime ahead of you. I expect this is something you're going to have a hard time dealing with for the rest of your life." Whoa. Whoa. Like what? While she's at home playing like Nintendo Wii or some shit? Like,
Yeah, I tend to believe she won't have too hard of a time.
This happened in the city of Woodstock, Georgia. Yep, Woodstock, Georgia is pretty white. Unbelievable.
Okay.
Unfucking believable.
$4,000 in fines.
But they said she was 17 at the time, but it's like still for a while.
But what about the young man that shoots up the neighborhood? He's always tried as an adult. Why could she get tried as an adult?
Not even.
I'm not saying
that. I've heard people getting more time from just discharging a firearm and not shooting nobody.
Well, you know what? I'm gonna say this because I don't want to compare oranges to apples. If she was 17, yeah, we shouldn't be as strict on a 17-year-old. But golly, $4,000 in fine and probation, like that's you didn't kill 2 women and a baby, so 3 lives. Each life is only what's that? Is that what $1,500 a life? No, that's not even $1,500 a life. You know what I'm saying? Like that was just too little bit of money.
Mm.
You know what I'm saying?
But I mean,
and that's really not a punishment for her because who gonna pay that? Her parents gonna pay it.
But she gets to go home at the end of the day. Jussie Smollett faces, and I think they're trying to sentence him to like 51 years in prison for this.
Well, you know what though? But my thing is, this is an accident versus something that's done deliberate. We got to look at that's somewhat of a different type of situation, you know.
So like so what you're saying, a negligent accident that kills 3 people is far better than a guy who lies.
Now, what I'm saying is you can compare black folks who've done the same thing, who get put in real situations, like they kids, but then they tried as an adults instead of being tried as kids, or you know what I'm saying, they get time instead of a little fines, even when it's an accident. That's all I'm saying. You know, black people get screwed over on all levels when it comes to that court system at any age. So if think about it, if a 17-year-old black person would have had the same results even in the accident, would they get $4,000 worth of fine and some probation? Seriously doubt that one. That wouldn't happen. It wouldn't even be considered.
No, it wouldn't be considered. They'll throw him or her under the damn jail. Period. And guess what? And guess what? We as black people would not care. We would say, hey, you know, cool, throw them away. They killed 3 people, one of which was a baby. But when I see comment sections like posted on Facebook, when you see articles like this versus articles like Michael Vick fighting dogs or Jussie Smollett lying, then you see the difference in comments from whites. Most white people are on those posters saying, "Oh, it was an accident. It was a mistake." But
yeah, even mistakes come with consequences, though. Mm-hmm. What's supposed to come with them.
And all I'm saying is, you know what? To be fair, Let's have the same energy across the board. To be fair, but I guess
Hmm.
that's the price. I guess that's the price of fairness. You put everything on the line just to be fair, just one time. Yeah. So, do you think that we somehow pay that price, especially like I guess with the existence of the Facebook group? You know, because people like, because people like, I understand that Facebook and YouTube are two separate entities, but really the whole reason I'm on YouTube is probably because I created that Facebook group. Black men being brutally honest with everyone, and people when they talk about the group on Facebook, they always come up with their own reasoning as to why I created it. I'm gonna tell you why I created it on this broadcast. So black men and black women can have fair conversation. Period. It's fair conversation. But one thing I discovered about our people is that we don't like fair. We don't. We
Yeah.
don't like fair at all, because when it's fair, it means that you have to take someone else's input, even though you don't necessarily agree with it. And to sit up here and to scream, scratch, claw, and cry over something that trivial as a back and forth conversation, you know, I'm sorry for you. There are worse things in the world, like what is collectively happening to our children throughout our communities when there's no father in the home. Now, when you say stuff like there's no father in the home, that ain't the only issue.
Hmm.
It's like I feel like the only reason why a lot of people say that, having no father at home is problematic is because we see what happens when there is no father in the home, the results at the end of the day. So how can you argue with that? Facts and tangible evidence. But but in the interest of fairness, why is it that people are so unfair about that one thing? Why is it like? And I know like me and you go kind of back, Roger. Why the mentality?
Yeah. What at the end of the day, people just don't want to be responsible. So no one's gonna want to take the responsibility
But
of
you know
their
what though?
actions.
But
What's
you know
that?
what though? I feel like you know what though? I feel like as an adult, it's not my responsibility to make sure that I police the conversations I have just for your comfort levels. You know, like I said, I don't ever really say anything overtly offensive. It's just that it all depends on what you view as offensive. If you view the truth and brutal honesty as offensive, then I mean I'm sorry for you.
Well, you know what? Some people are evil, plain and simple. You know, and I know me calling it evil is an interesting word to use, but if you think about it, if you go watch a superhero movie or read a comic book, what was what is the villain being? He's being evil. He just doesn't care about other people's happiness. He doesn't care about society. He doesn't want people to just live their life and be okay. That's an he just wants to disturb people's lives who've done nothing to them. They're evil people. Comes from the same spirit.
See if I can find. See if I can find this article real quick. Oh, here we go. I feel like I have to address this because this is directly because of something I did.
Hmm.
Let me show you something real quick. Let me see. All right, hold on. I want to show you something, just so people will know that. Oh God. um, you see this title right here. This is off of Lipstick Alley. You know
Hold
what?
on.
You know.
Lord have mercy. Give me one sec, Kev. I got noise in the background here.
Yeah, like somebody really needs to mute that something. So, how's everyone doing? Roger Stevens from who has something on mute? Please mute that.
Okay, I got it. Sorry about that.
All right. All right, Nadia, are you looking at the screen?
Yeah.
This Facebook group is full of black men and pygmies that hate black women. Okay, guys. Okay. Now, if okay, for people who think this, now when I bring this up, I want you to look at. I want you to look ahead. You see this?
Mm-hmm.
I joined this Facebook group because the name makes it sound like it will be good for black people. Black men and black women being brutally honest with everyone. Okay, let me explain that real quick. Okay, we had a member in the actual main real group, black men being brutally honest with everyone. I'm the original creator. Every group that you find, there's one called backup group, black men being brutally honest with everyone backup group. That's my creation. There's one called black women being brutally honest with everyone, the official. That's also my creation. Every other group, there's a group called Black Men Being Brutally Honest, was created by a member that was a part of the main group. There's also several black women being brutally honest with everyone because, you know, there are some black women that want to give you the idea that black men are always trying to bash and compete with them. But like, why do you feel like you have to steal the title of a group and make your own group like from the very man that you disrespect online every day? Now with that being said, this is one of the clones right here. It was made by this disgruntled member that was upset that we had made a female admin in the group. So he went off and made his own group and he called it this: Black Men and Black Women Being Brutally Honest with Everyone. Now, I'm here to give everybody on social media, and that includes other YouTube pages, a fucking message right now. Because I'm sick of the bullshit. Everybody always got something to say about black men. Have a fucking seat. Seriously. So answer me this. What is a pick me? Is a pick me is somebody that, you know, is a woman that they get upset with because they say good things about black men. That then, you know.
That's basically all the pick me is. And you know, there's women that try to argue about what it is, but truthfully, it's just a woman. It's just a good black woman that still like black men, and other women try to bully her into not liking black men. So picking me is just a way of bullying her.
Mhm. And this appears on Lipstick Alley of all places. Lipstick Alley. What do you know about Lipstick Alley?
What I know about Lipstick Alley, they don't like black men in general.
No, it doesn't seem that way. Why does everybody get away with hating on black men? Like, you know, I see it, like I say, I see it all over social media. And it ain't me playing victim. It's me saying that if I'm an asshole to you, it's for a reason. It's for a reason. Yeah, you always got all this bullshit to say black men, black men, black men, black men. What would
No.
black men have something to say about it?
The
What's
reason the
going on?
reason why they can get away with that is because unfortunately the mainstream media has done it for all these years, and basically it's just like keeping with the status quo. You know, so if we've always been the targets. And the reason, if you ever sit up here and say you're not the target, that's when it's a problem. But basically, that's just all what it's been. We have always been the target. Everything. I mean, think about it. Every movie they make us look bad. Or like this is, think about it. Women didn't start looking bad until I guess the most that they even had to say was when rap music came out. That's the most they even had to even push back. It had any pushback, or let alone when it came to anything that could be
They bought,
mainstream media is YouTube. And you
but
see
they
them
bought
trying to
in,
fuck that.
but they bought into the rap music too, and they validated these rappers saying disparaging things about black women by fucking them.
But this is the
So
thing
why
is,
do
okay, when they do it, long as we don't do it. And remember, like if you see a woman can call another woman a hoe for her being always on her back and tricking for money. But if a guy calls her a hoe, that's when it's a problem. It's like they still, they still. I will say one thing: women stay on code a lot better than us men do.
yeah, they stay on code and they
They
support
don't
each
mind
other's
withholding.
bullshit.
No, but they don't mind withholding someone in the wrong. One thing that men have rooted down, up, down in them is that we don't uphold nobody in the wrong. That's one thing that a lot of men won't do that. That we're not gonna be like, well, you my dog, so just because I'm cool with you and you slap that bitch for no damn reason, I'm gonna be like, yeah, man, that was right. Now, I'm gonna be like, man, you could have handled that a little better, this, that, and the other. Where with women, it's like, yeah, you slapped him, but you had every right to do because he had said something that upset you. That don't mean nothing for you to take it to the next level, but things have always been looked at like that way.
But but look at this. Look at this statement right here. I like let me see. Hello Kiki. Yeah, that sounds like a little girl. Hello Kiki said, I joined this Facebook group because the name make it sound like it would be good for black people. Oh, how I was wrong. Here's just a few posts. So basically, Hello Kiki gets to define what's good for black people. You want to throw shots, but you have like, and this is what kills me about people like this. They haven't laid down any examples or suggestions as to how things can be better. They sit up there, they're on the outside looking in, and then they want to complain about every goddamn thing without making any positive changes. It's like, and then I say that about these old simp ass niggas in the group too, in my group.
Yeah,
It's like,
but you know what though? In this group, because this ain't one of the groups you created, and you
no, it's
don't
not.
control the content
Yeah,
of this group. So
no,
it
I
might
don't
be.
control the content of the group, but when they hear the name, there goes the association. And then like I'm having to give clarity to a bunch of people that I don't even know that telling me that why I created the group in the first place. I wanted a fair, even playing field for discussion. If you didn't like what a black man was saying and he wasn't being disrespectful but factual, just because you doesn't like the facts, tough fucking titty. Tough titty. I'm not going to sit up there and come to your rescue because you can't debunk a fact. Name one person that can debunk an actual fact. It is impossible. You cannot debunk a fact. So I'm not going to use some emotional, I'm not going to use emo logic to sit there and help you with your whining. Sorry. And you know what? I've gained a lot of dislike and hate because of that shit. It may not be that prominent on YouTube, but it's very prominent on Facebook. Every time I show up to a place, depending on who it is, I got to hear about the damn group because people are butthurt because I made it a fair playing field.
I
Like
mean,
I can't even post pictures of my kid on Facebook because some bitch every time I disagree with somebody, they got to go pull my fucking pictures. See, I don't want to hunt somebody down and ask them why you're pulling pictures of my kid because I'm that kind of person. If you're a goddamn adult, I'm gonna look you in your eye and ask you why. There was some there was some kid out of Birmingham, Alabama, and I call him a kid even though he might be 30 fucking years old. Sit up here and say this group is full of faggots. This group is full of gay men and everything. And you know what I said to him? I said, look, brother, the next time I'm in Birmingham, Alabama, where you stay, let's go to the Sky Bar Comedy Club. No, wait a minute. Not. I don't think the Sky Bar is a comedy club. It's a real prominent comedy club on the Sky Dome or something like that. I said, I'll meet you there. I'll buy you a drink, but you look me in the eye and you tell me all about what you think about the group that I created. I want you to tell me exactly this little dumbass comment you made. and we'll decide from there if you got any balls. I told him just like that. No, man. Then he comes back with a little emotional comeback. No, man, you ain't nothing but a bitch. You think you somebody. You think you somebody. Dude, I know people in Birmingham. I got family in Birmingham. We can make this academic. Like, dude, don't look. You don't know who you're messing with. Period. You play badass on the internet, and then when somebody tries to play your card, you're a little bitch and you're not there. Shoot, I know. Look, I'm from Alabama. Like I said, I got family in Birmingham. If you don't know who you're dealing with, you should shut the fuck up. I wasn't going to be violent toward the man. I just want him to tell me like a man what he thinks about what I did.
Yeah, but see, my thing is this. This group that you displaying ain't your group, has nothing to do with your group. Ain't no telling what they doing in that group. And my thing is, this is, just make it clear that the group they talking about ain't got nothing to do with the group you started, because you can't defend what other people doing in other groups that you have nothing to do with. So don't even let people associate with it.
I do get to call out the lack of originality and this bullshit logic that these people possess.
I mean that's my thing. Call it lack of originality out because, okay, this Hello Kiki said or whatever. I mean, to my understanding, is Lipstick Alley is already like some pro black feminist / white supremacist black men hate publication anyway. But I can't say they're wrong about this other group that you have nothing to do with, because I don't know what's going on in that particular group. So maybe they're right about that particular group.
I was added to that group. I wasn't, it wasn't like I requested to be in that group, but I was added to that group. And about the same thing goes on in that group that every other Facebook group. You had that group. You had that group of merry band of reporters that jump from group to group that feel like they have to be empowered by shutting accounts down or whatever that bullshit they try to call themselves.
All that beside the point. Whatever they're doing in that group ain't got nothing to do with you. Do not associate yourself with that group. Whatever the people at Lipstick Alley is saying about you.
Yeah, but you know what? Let me go and make 2 points. Number one, fuck Lipstick Alley. Take that how you want to take it. If you're a fan of Lipstick Alley, fuck your little fan base publication. I don't care. It's like, but let me ask you something, Roger, and you know this. What have they said about our group?
Well, my thing is, this ain't about our group. This is somebody else's group.
No. I know this ain't about our group. I know, but what did they say? What do they say about our group, though? What do they say about our group?
Well, our group is definitely a fair place for men and women to talk and discuss different things they have issues with.
But what do you think Lipstick Alley have to say about our group?
No, I mean, at the end of the day, there's the people in our group that usually have a problem are people that do not like a fair playing field. Anybody who's complaining about our group only complains because they don't like the fairness of the group. If a man says something, a woman says something, man says something, then a woman says something, and then usually it's somebody getting upset that someone's allowed to respond to a comment that they made. And those people are problems. And people like that usually get kicked out the group because they just try to cause mess when they don't get their way.
So there's a reflection of their real lives.
Think about it. It's got to be. Who you are online is who you are in real life to a certain degree with most folk.
Because, I feel like this. I feel like I'm a father. I'm a father in real life, so I have to carry a mentality of a father online. And then when I see that the behavior of young ladies have a real world impact, then I got to make a decision. And the decision is I don't want that for my kid. I don't want it for my kid. So basically, if I see a behavior that I disagree with, I'm going to make people consciously aware of it, whether black people are involved or not. The concern with black people doing it is the fact that I feel like when black people do something, it directly affects our community, man or woman. I can't give, but here's my thing: I can't give a pass to adults. I can't give a pass to full-grown adults unless they have some kind of disability or some kind of true medically diagnosed mental handicap, I can't give you a pass. I
Which is the
can't do
correct
it.
way to be.
I mean, shit. If you're in a mentally handicapped position or you're a child, I can give you a pass then. But if you're an adult, if you're a competent adult, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. And I expect to be treated the same way. I expect to be treated like I don't deserve a pass. And that is fine with me. Because as
Yeah,
a black man, we should be used to that shit.
but see, my thing is the group you actually created has done a lot of good. So, me, I don't even like the fact that you're giving light to this imposter group. You know what I'm saying? Because I can't defend them being trash. They might be totally a trash group. You know what I'm saying? And usually people that copy you, they don't do anything as good as where they got the idea from. They're just someone trying to make a dime or make a name because of what somebody else is doing. So they might totally be a trash group. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So if a trash paper, well, I'm just saying if a trash paper is trash in a trash group, hey, I ain't got no issue with that. But go ahead.
No, but I will address a bastard child though. Well, you know what? If I feel like I'm responsible for your existence, I'm gonna address the bastard, and I'm gonna do it because I want to do it. It ain't got nothing to do with it ain't got nothing to do with giving somebody shine that doesn't deserve it. Because obviously, with the traction that trash ass publication gets, yeah, the group's got a little shine. But here's my point at the end of the day. Do not try to sit there and define for me why I created that environment, because I'm gonna tear your ass up. Now that what there did let's go ahead and disregard all of the little butthurt clones out there, because that's all they are. They're butthurt because they felt like a lot of those people felt like that I was supposed to give them some kind of prominence. And I'm sorry, that's not my job. It's not my job to give you prominence. You're gonna have to find that shit on your own. I don't even think I'm that prominent myself. Who the fuck knows who I am?
Well, obviously
I mean,
enough people want to be you. So
I mean, shit. Did I name my shit? Did I name my YouTube channel Kev's Exclusives? Did I name my channel Kev Says? Did I name my channel Judge Kev? No, I didn't. Because I know how to be fucking original. Did I name my shit The Kev Report? Did I name my shit You Ain't Kev for Watching? What is wrong with people, man? Be original.
Well, that's just too much work for some people. You know how that go. It's just too much work for some people. But
you know the excuse I used to hear, man, they're words. Did you put a patent on words in the order they go in? I was like, good God, please don't cross the street without making sure that it is absolutely clear traffic. Because I'm quite sure with that logic, you'll walk right into traffic.
well, yeah,
I'm like, dude, it does not erase the fact that you weren't original.
but at the end of the day, you just got to take it that some people value you more than they value themselves, and that's all it really comes out to. You know,
I guess. I guess.
bro, how mad can you be that you're more important in their life than they are in their life? How mad can you really be?
I guess. I don't know. I guess I made some real world impact, because we certainly have people making excuses and shit.
Your group has actually created a lot of positive impact in the Black community. So I'm glad about that. These clone groups, I don't have nothing for them, but your group has actually made some real positive change and helped move some people in the right direction. So, at the end of the day, it's still a great thing that you did start the group.
I mean, I wanted, like I said, I wanted a fair playing field. That's all it was. It was never meant to be a bashing group. But you know what? You know what though? This also comes down to personal choice because it's like if you want a positive environment, you will contribute it to making it a positive environment. You
Exactly.
won't say anything negative. You won't do anything negative. You will always find yourself into being a bigger person. The fact that you participate and encourage fuckery is making you so. It, is the fact that it makes all your complaints null and void. If you want to, if you're going to participate in it, then be about that shit. But don't try to bullshit like is the environment that has been presented by the group now. I had somebody say something to me a long time ago about like it wasn't even a long time ago. It was very recent about personal responsibility. That somehow that I need to be personally responsible for the kind of posts that are being made. But like at the end of the day, people are adults. Like they
Mhm.
just they're adults. I'm not in people's inboxes telling them what to post in their DM, so to speak.
Nah, I mean that's like saying who's the dude that's credited for Mark Zuckerberg or whatever? He's got to be responsible for everything that's posted on Facebook. That's
Mm.
like Google has to be responsible for everything posted on YouTube. You know who if the owner of a company can be, you can't expect them to take on the responsibility of what everyone else uses something, because if you do if that's the case, then you can't make it public.
Yeah,
You know what I'm
yeah.
saying? So that's just as adults we have to learn how to move and think like adults. When you make something public, that means you gave other people an opportunity to be responsible with their own words. That's what you did. You their own thoughts, their own choices. You made it public. Places that are where you are totally responsible for, those are not public arenas. Those are private arenas where you dictate everything and you dictate what people can and can't do. But when something is public, the public is responsible for their own choices, not the party that invented whatever that thing is that is released to the public. So, you know, you can't think of stuff that way. That's not the best and most mature way to think about something. Yeah, that's like me being responsible. Is the people who invented a car responsible for what every person does on the road? Like, no, that's impossible.
Mhm. Yeah, but if the truth is malicious, then call me Jack the Ripper because it's going down like that from now on for the rest of the year. It's like it's just that I've seen too many stupid narratives being pushed, and when you have a platform, and this might just be my opinion, and you don't have to listen to anything that I say. You can choose, but you don't have to listen to anything I say. When you have a platform, you sort of have a responsibility. It is. It's like I can share my opinion all day, but I also understand that I have a responsibility. I can choose to make positive decisions and choose to put things in the direction that I feel like that they need to go. I can choose to be that way. But the fact of the matter is, all of us have that same exact choice. We don't. I mean, I'm not
Exactly.
gonna. I mean, damn. It's like a person that spends all day every day complaining about what other people say on Facebook, and you know what the complaint is? It's complaining about. It's complaining about complaining. It just doesn't make any sense. Yeah, and also, hey Roger, one more point. And let
Mm-hmm.
me, I'm probably gonna end this broadcast. Um, do you think that the divide between Black Facebook and Black YouTube is a reflection of the division in our community? Because, excuse me, because I've heard a couple times that like some of our people say Facebook logic on YouTube, like in the super chats, and then when you get engrossed in a conversation on Facebook, you'll have somebody who will throw up the words YouTube logic. Do you think this is just more dumbass division?
Not,
Why
I
do?
think
Okay, go ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead.
I think people who make statements like that are just being dumb people. At the end of the day, the average person is just being themselves, no matter what form of social media is used on. Because when you pick up a phone and you talk, you're still basically a representative of yourself. You know what I'm saying? If you wrote a letter to somebody, you're still basically representing yourself. At the end of the day, the average person is just being a representation of themselves. So to say that just because they said it online is not their real feelings, that's like stupid. That's that's so unintelligent. I don't really even want to. It's hard for me to even come up with terms about how unintelligent that is. The same brain is in their body. Okay, they have the same heart, they have the same mind. So what's the difference when they say it online versus when they say it in the street? They still feel that way. That's just who they are. You see what I'm saying? Now, don't get me wrong. I do know this. You have cases where you have a person pretending to be a whole different person, but the average person is just being a representation of themselves. And that's all it is to it. So it's not that YouTube logic is just a logic of a person that happens to be on YouTube. Facebook logic is just the logic of a person that happens to be on Facebook. But when you put that person in a library, do you say that's library logic? If you put them in a particular university, do you say that's university logic? I mean, it don't make sense.
Oh no, I think that we just strive not to make sense sometimes.
I
Yeah.
think people going out their way to try to discount what somebody else is saying. That's what it sounds like to me. But it's a really stupid way of trying to do so.
Yeah, YouTube logic versus and it's like why like one thing I do notice is it comes from the overall mentality of a person speaking without validation from mainstream media first, or current in the know the in thing. Um, that's one thing because a lot of my people say that Facebook for platforms like Facebook and YouTube are weak because uh, eh, because it makes people feel like they're more than who they are. It makes them a star in their head.
I, I, I would say this. It would take, to me, is an insignificant person would think that someone else is being made to be more significant simply because they're on YouTube or Facebook or anything else like that. That's like, how like when you were a child, more than like, well, I'm not saying you personally, but just in general, like when we were children, you look up to stars or celebrities or like a cartoon character, whatever the case is. You looked up because you thought it was and it's awesome and it's something super special. It's like, you know what I'm saying? Like if you have the mind that, okay, I use R. Kelly for an example. If you think R. Kelly is more important than you simply because the man can sing and he's famous, then something's wrong with you. You know what I'm saying? There is no person that's more significant than any other person. You know what I'm saying? If you believe in status, like, okay, well, since this person is, if I'm walking down the street and I'm hungry and I can go to this place and get the last burger, and then, okay, Drake is famous. If Drake come in behind me, I'm not finna give him the burger that I need to eat just because he's famous. Like, no, that's stupid. You know what I'm saying? Like, now if you're a person that's still on some celebrities are like almost like gods to you, then my thing is you got to deal with whatever way you have to suffer because of that. Because at the end of the day, people are just people.
Oh, yeah.
So to think someone is because you're on Facebook, you think you somebody, that to me a statement is made. That type of statement is made by a person who feels very insignificant and needs to do something with their life. They haven't accomplished enough for themselves.
I mean, think about that. Would they rather us play Candy Crush Saga all day?
Well, I mean, they need to do something.
But anyway, man, I'm getting tired, man. You know, I appreciate this conversation. I appreciate both Donnie Casanova and Judge Dre for stopping by and making this broadcast happen for us, the habitual line steppers, which you're gonna hear that shit a lot more from now on. I promise you. So, what are your final thoughts before we log off, Mister Roger Stevens, sir?
Well, my final thoughts are, people, if you're out there feeling little, at some point in time, you got to realize you can feel as big as you want to be. You are no more important than anyone else, and no one else is more important than you. And if you truly understand about yourself, your world will go a little bit better. So this is Roger. I'm right, and I'm out. And this has been a Habitual Line Steppers production.
Yeah. And not only is Roger right, he's also being fair. like what ultimately we have to ask ourselves at the end of the day, what is our problem with fairness? And when y'all answer that question, you'll finally start to realize, and answer the question truthfully, you'll finally start to realize how a little babyish y'all are being right now. Everybody has the right to share their thoughts in a conversation, even if we don't agree with it. And basically, there's a lot of things that I see that I don't agree with. That doesn't mean I want those people to shut up. I just want the opportunity to debunk their asses. That's all it is. I want to
Mm-hmm.
entertain myself with people's stupidity. It's not that I want people to stop talking, because I don't want anyone to stop talking. In fact, I want you to keep going so I can have a reason to go off of your ass. And that right there is the price of fairness. If I have, if people are trying to constantly sacrifice my reputation because they don't like the answers to certain questions that I answered, then tough fucking titty. I don't like the fact that right now I can't put pictures of my family on my Facebook account because people have that much problem with the truth. But at the same time, it's no big deal for me to pick, pictures of my family and pictures of my kid on Facebook because of the general environment of crazy motherfuckers out there. So, so anyway, but if being if that's the price that I have to pay to be fair, and I wish that price were more carried out on me. Because when it crosses to the territory of family, then that's when I become the person that even I'm afraid of. you know? So, but anyway, stop being touch idiots and try to listen to a point of view from someone else. I mean, if it doesn't fit your narrative, I'm sorry. But what the fucking thing that you're gonna have to do is that you're gonna have to prove your narrative is better than the other narrative. It ain't and a lot of those things they're not just up to you. And I understand that. Roger understands that. Donnie understands that. And a host of other people understand that. And that right there is only fair. All right. This is Kev. And I was just brutally honest with you guys. I don't know, trying to find some cliche shit to say. But anyway, like, share, subscribe, and y'all have a good one. Habitual Line Steppers.